So let us begin. Today we'll start the journey of the conquest of India. We have seen the prehistory of the conquest of India. On one hand, what was happening inside India, fragmentation and the characteristics of the first half of 18th century. And we have also seen what is happening at global scale, especially at European scale, mercantilism, company formation, competition, etc. And now those things will come together and collide, and there our story begins. But even before that, I have to tell you why did this collision begin in the first place? Yes. Yeah. So you see, company, the East India Company of British is formed in 1600, 1600 में, and the Battle of Plassey happens in 1757. तो ये लगभग 157 साल की कहानी है. इसमें we see company not getting aggressive. But then there are a couple of questions that arise out of it. The first question is that why was the company in the first place so desperate to maintain the surplus with Eastern trade? देखो बात यह है कि Eastern trade, as I said, was or rather has been always a trade of imbalance for Europe. Since the time of Roman Empire, we produce and export manufactured goods, and we import only some goods and majorly precious stones, precious metal. तो उस केस में हमेशा हमारा फायदा होते रहा. बैलेंस ऑफ ट्रेड हैज ऑलवेज बीन इन फेवर ऑफ इंडिया फॉर सेंचुरीज. तो अब क्या हुआ in 17th 18th century that the Europeans started to feel very uneasy about it कि नहीं अब ये नहीं चलेगा, we have to do something about it. They tried to, for example, when they tried to discover route to India, they had fortunately discovered route to America also, and that South America provided them silvers for long time to balance the trade. तो वहां से silver लो and use that silver to exchange for oriental commodities. That also they did for quite a bit of time. चल रहा था. So what happened now कि उनको ये दिक्कत आ गई कि अब ये कम करना है. What was the sense? Why was the desperation there? It is primarily because of, as you already know, mercantilism. So what is the policy of mercantilism? No, that is colonialism. That is also one thing. देखो mercantilism का basic idea ये है that they believe in the limited amount of money in the world. दुनिया में wealth जो है वो constant है, limited है and finite है. If you think that way, that wealth is finite in the world, and if you want to become rich, it means somebody else has to become poor, क्योंकि पैसा तो उतना ही है. और अगर कोई और रिच हो रहा है मतलब आप गरीब हो रहे हो. So this is the belief in what we called as zero sum game. A zero sum game. So the basic idea of mercantilist philosophy was to become rich. Nation has to become powerful, and one major aspect of that is that you have to be rich at the cost of other people. अब ये कैसे होगा? So you have lots of things that come out of that. For example, how do you calculate the wealth? It was at that time in terms of precious metal. Let us call it bullion. So what you have is called as bullionism. बुलियनिज्म. इट मीन्स अगर आपके देश से सोना चांदी बाहर जा रहा है मतलब आप भले इन द ट्रेड यू आर बेनिफिटिंग, ऑल योर रिक्वायरमेंट्स गेट सेटिस्फाइड, यू डोंट लुक एट दैट. व्हाट यू लुक एट कि सोना बाहर जा रहा है, चांदी बाहर जा रही. सो द नेट एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ गोल्ड एंड सिल्वर is considered as a negative thing, as a loss of power. And if you want to become rich, it means you have to have, first of all, in this context, balance of trade that is favorable to you. And secondly, you should have net import of precious metal. ये दो चीजें बहुत बेसिक है in the idea of mercantilism. And these are the reasons because of this company है which when it starts to come to India, it comes for trading. right? Basically, it's a trading company. And then the more goods it brings from India and sells in Europe, it earns more profit. But for every purchase, it has to shell out silver. तो वो अपने आप में इनको अब परेशानी शुरू होगी, नहीं, we can't allow that. So therefore, they were quite desperate all the time to find some substitute to it. That is one basic thing. Then comes the next point. That was trade monopoly. अब मर्केंटाइलिज्म का एक और एस्पेक्ट आता है, वो है that these companies were granted the charters of monopoly by their mother countries. Why? What is the logic? आज के दिन में अगर हमें किसी चीज में बिजनेस करना है, तो we don't have only one company doing it. We have multiple companies because it leads to competition, it leads to better price discovery, it leads to innovation, it leads to efficiency. सबका फायदा होता है. That is the meaning of capitalism. You have to have competition. But when you go for monopoly, you are not going for competition. You are consciously discouraging all the competition. कि जैसे अंग्रेज रानी है एलिजाबेथ, she's giving monopoly charter to East India Company. So it is only East India Company that can trade with India. No other British company is allowed to do that. That is trade monopoly given as per charter. Why? What is the reason? The reason is that these companies were given trade monopolies to inflate the prices. अगर कंपटीशन बढ़ेगी तो prices नीचे आएंगे. If prices come down, it means that the tax income that the state will get out of these companies will come down. तो बड़े लोगों को अधिक खर्चे पड़े, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. स्टेट को प्रॉफिट चाहिए, अधिक टैक्स चाहिए, मैक्सिमम प्रॉफिट एक कंपनी का होना चाहिए. That was the whole idea behind giving monopoly charters. So my point is, these were companies were trading companies. ये समझो इसको. These were not, हम उनको कंपनी बोलते हैं, but they are not actually companies which produce anything. They don't produce anything. They're just traders. They're just merchants. They're just go-betweens. And in that, they have got monopoly charter by the queen or the king of their country, so that no other company will emerge in that. ठीक है, तो उनको मैक्सिमम प्राइसेस रखने हैं, कंपटीशन कम करना. सो दैट इज व्हाई वी से दैट mercantilism is not capitalism. Capitalism emerges in 18th century, but these companies are the outcome of 16th and 17th centuries. उस समय की जो फिलोसॉफी है अर्ली मॉडर्न की, वो है मर्केंटाइल फिलोसॉफी. Now the next question is, if you give the monopoly charter, does it mean that there is only one company and therefore there is no competition and no rivalry? No, it does not mean that. In case of England, the Queen would give 3 charters to 3 different companies. One for India, we have East India Company. One for Russia, we have Royal Muscovy Company. And one for Atlantic and this Africa, Royal African Company. तो 3 अलग इलाकों के लिए अंग्रेजों ने 3 कंपनियां बनाई थी. बट इंडिया में एक ही कंपनी बनाई थी. बट दैट वाज ओनली फॉर इंडिया. द चार्टर इज एप्लीकेबल, is having any merit in England itself, not beyond England. But there are many other sovereign countries in Europe, and each of them will form one monopoly company. So we have French company, we have Dutch company, a British company, we have Dane company. तो competition तो होगी. But English company एक ही है, पर दुनिया में कितने सारे countries है. We have 4, 5, 6 companies coming up, and they started competing and they started rivalry with each other. So despite having monopoly charter, the rivalry was there between different European companies. अब होता क्या था? The whole idea is to have monopoly. The belief is that if I don't have monopoly, I am losing the business. So this rivalry was very cutthroat. And इसमें ऐसे कभी नहीं हुआ कि आप भी बिजनेस करिए, हम भी करेंगे, चलो साथ में प्रॉफिट कमाते हैं. ना, I have to finish you off. I have to establish monopoly charters given by my queen, but I have to go to India and remove all the competition. That is the basic game of this era. And how do I do that? I can't just compete. There is rule of law. I am giving more profit or more better services. तो business में मैं जीत गया. ऐसी competition थी नहीं. That is capitalism. Here you have to use force. So that is why for this rivalry to be dominated, there is a beginning of building of forts, maintaining navy and army, fighting wars and peace treaties. ये सारा काम होता किसका है actually? These are all sovereign functions of a country, but through this charter, these functions are delegated to company. कंपनी आप कर लीजिए युद्ध, कोई दिक्कत नहीं, आप आर्मी खड़ी कर लीजिए, कोई दिक्कत नहीं, आप ना जमीन बना लीजिए, वहां पे you have the territory, you create administration, you have judiciary, you have civil law, you have criminal law, you have everything, you please run. I am giving you all delegated. So delegated sovereignty to the company is also part of the charter because companies are fighting. जो लोकल यूरोपियन कंपटीशन है बिटवीन द नेशंस गेट्स ओवर स्पिल्ड एट ग्लोबल लेवल बिटवीन द कंपनीज. तो वहां पे यूरोप में यू मे हैव ब्रिटिश एंड फ्रेंच एंड डच एंड स्पेन आर फाइटिंग ईच अदर. Therefore, in the entire world, you have their respective companies fighting against each other. So, the local rivalry becomes global rivalry through the companies. And companies, in order to perform those functions, need to have access to forts, navies, factories, all those things. So, point hai, to establish their monopoly and to stamp out rivalry, companies consider the use of violence as legitimate tool. इसलिए हमने कहा था जब वास्को द गामा इंडिया आया पहली बार, ही ब्रॉट अ न्यू कॉन्सेप्ट मेयर क्लॉसम. क्यों? बिकॉज ही इज यूजिंग वायलेंस, द करैक्स एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स टू एंश्योर कि मेरी मोनोपोली रहे. सेम थिंग विल बी डन बाय ऑल अदर कंपनीज वन बाय वन. सो यू हैव आर्म्ड ट्रेड. use of violence to establish monopoly. Therefore, whenever you say that company is given a charter, what do you mean? You mean three things. Firstly, the company is allowed to take out the silver from the nation. First thing, bullion. क्योंकि बाहर देश के बाहर सोना चांदी ले जाना मतलब गद्दारी. So you need to have a special permission from the government to take out Sona Chandi because these companies were adding profit by huge margin. They were given special concession that they can take silver out to finance Indian trade. That was the first part of charter. The second part was that they were given monopoly. So trade monopoly. No other company from England would go there. And in return of that, company would pay a lot of tax and a lot of money and a lot of loan also sometimes to the government. And third thing is they can build forts, acquire land, get zamindari, create army, wage wars, peace treaties with foreign or native powers as if they are the sovereign. They are even allowed to have their own diplomats and ambassadors in local courts. तो इंग्लैंड का डिप्लोमेट आपके देश में नहीं होगा, बट कंपनी का होगा आपके पास, रेसिडेंट्स एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स. तो ये सारी चीजें होती है. दीज आर द थ्री एलिमेंट्स ऑफ दोस चार्टर्स. ये क्लियर? अब देखो, अब बात आती है दो तरफ से. फर्स्ट थिंग इज दैट व्हाई व्हाट वेर डन डिफरेंटली, उसको मैं टाइटल दे देता हूं पहले तो, दैट इज मर्केंटलिज्म. What were done differently so that it led to the formation of Indian rule for these companies. तो पहली बात तो ये है is that because they wanted to stamp out rivalry, finish competition and create monopoly. When British, for example, came to India in 1611, 1612, they realized कि भाई यहाँ पे Portuguese are already there. Portuguese were past their prime, by the way. हमने देखा है Portuguese in 1580 lost their sovereignty and they were conquered by Spain. तो 1588 Spanish Armada was finished by British. तो Portuguese already weakened थे, but still in India they had control in many coastal areas. They had many factories and they had influence in the Mughal court as well. So when British came, they realized कि भाई इनको हटा के ही जो करना है करना है. So you have in the, if I draw the timeline, let us say this is 1500, this is 1600, 1700, 1800, 1900. So in this timeline, you will see something very easily. We have here Portuguese coming to India 1498, right? And this entire 16th century, you have primarily Portuguese only, because British company is formed in 1600. The Dutch company is formed in 1602 and French company is formed in 1664. यहाँ पे तो in the first 16th century Portuguese have no rival from Europe. Their opponents are domestic people, Arabs, Ottomans, etc. ठीक है, तो सेंचुरी हमारी खत्म हो गई. They established Carthage and all those things. Then you have British coming to India, British and Dutch. So let us call it Portuguese. When British come to India in 1611 and 12, they realize Portuguese have captured lots of things. पहले इनको हराना होगा. So in the first half a century, here you have British versus Portuguese rivalry, one by one. In 1611, 1612, 1620s, 1630s, lots of local wars were fought on navies, on naval warfare especially, and Portuguese were quickly defeated. And it was not difficult to defeat them because they were already weakened by the end of 16th century. तो अंग्रेजों के सामने जब इंडिया में आने के बाद जो तीन मेजर राइवल्स थे, पोर्तुगीज, डच एंड फ्रेंच, सबसे पहले निपटारा पोर्तुगीज का हो गया in the first 50 years itself. And then onwards, they signed many commercial treaties whereby Portuguese became dependent on British. Bombay was given to Britain and all those things. And then Portuguese remained confined only to Goa and Diu Daman. They also had a formidable presence in Gujarat, in Bengal, by the way. They also had a presence in Bengal, but hota kya hai? In the course of events, we have Shaista Khan, who was the सूबेदार ऑफ बंगाल ड्यूरिंग टाइम ऑफ औरंगजेब, वो वहां से उनको खदेड़ देता है. सो यू हैव दोस थिंग्स. तो एंड उसके पहले इन द टाइम ऑफ जहांगीर आल्सो दे हैव सम करफल गोइंग ऑन. सो अल्टीमेटली समहाउ फ्रॉम बंगाल आल्सो पोर्तुगीज वर आउस्टेड. दे रिमेन ओनली ऑन वेस्टर्न कोस्ट. एंड देन यू हैव the first 50 years is about British versus Portuguese rivalry, which is not in our syllabus, so don't bother about it. I just want to give you the mega picture, macro picture. Then you come to the second half. The second half is the next half a century in which you have basically British versus Dutch rivalry going on. British versus Dutch. यहाँ पे they fight lots of war. First of all, the initial war were fought in Indonesia as well. Because then British came to India, they did not come to India primarily. When they say British East India Company, East India does not mean Indian nation. It means entire eastern periphery, starting from Cape of Good Hope and going till Southeast Asia. ये सब पूरा Indian Ocean Network है, it is called East India. And their main thing was to trade in spices. Spices were main demand which was item which was demanded in European markets, and the main location of spice was not India. India में बस मिलता है paper. If you go to Sri Lanka, you get cinnamon. But जो nutmeg and clove and mace जो है, जायफल and जावित्री etc. मेन उसका जो सोर्स है वो है साउथ ईस्ट एशिया, इंडोनेशिया, a few islands over there. मेन गेम उनके लिए था. And Dutch were able to corner that. And when अंग्रेज पीछे से आए, डच ने उनको ऐसे खत्म कर दिया, जिसको दिखे उसको काट दो, सर कलम कर दो, पकड़ के टॉर्चर कर लो. So there were lot of terror in British mind about Dutch aggressive policy in Southeast Asia. So lots of competition, again the friction issues happened, by which they realized कि भाई इंडिया में British are able to have upper hand, and on the other hand in Southeast Asia Dutch have the upper hand. There were many wars fought even in India, local small on the Indian coast etc. in Dutch and British उनकी मुठभेड़ हुई थी 1660s 1670s. Ultimately in 1670s they had official agreement कि भाई you remain there, we remain here. Indonesia for Dutch people, British will not go there, and India for British, Dutch will not come here. So you have very feeble attempts of Dutch revival in India even afterwards, like 1740s 1730s हुए हैं, but they're very rare. And by that time they had gone. So इस 50 साल के अंदर, second half of 17th century, Dutch were defeated in India by British. So out of the three competitors, initially Portuguese removed, पहले दो जनरेशन लगा के, then we had Dutch, they were taken out of picture. अब आते हैं French. French company was formed in 1664 में, but it was not very powerful for initial decades. It was formed in the era of Colbert, मैं बताया था आपको मैंने, वहाँ पे you have Louis XIV and all those things. It it came to India, it formed many factories and everything, but it never became a very serious thing. And by the end of the century, 17th century, they become almost a loss-making concern. It was a PSU. It was not a joint stock company, kind like British and Dutch. It was a PSU. तो उसके शेयर्स थे, बट शेयर्स आर मेजरली हेल्ड बाय द गवर्नमेंट इटसेल्फ. तो उसमें ये हुआ कि by 1700 company was not doing well. By 1720s, because of a good management and governance, its fortune started to rise. And by 1730s and 40s, it became the main rival to British. It came very close to British in comparison of volume of trade. The kind of cotton cloth that was exported from South India, from Pondicherry, was to Europe, was considered superior to the cloth from Madras. The volume of trade, quality, brand value, equity, from all angles, if you see, French are now coming close to British. Especially in 1720s, they capture Madagascar. जैसे मडागास्कर कैप्चर कर लिया, उनका होल्ड, नेवल होल्ड ओवर एंटायर इंडियन ओशन बिकेम वेरी पावरफुल. द इंक्रीज नंबर ऑफ फैक्ट्रीज वेरी सुन. तो 1730s 40s में आते आते ब्रिटिश एंड फ्रेंच बिकेम द मेजर राइवल कंपनीज इन इंडिया. तो ये कौन सा एरा है? इट इज अबाउट दिस फर्स्ट हाफ ऑफ 17th सेंचुरी. तो यहाँ पे आपके पास है ब्रिटिश वर्सेस फ्रेंच, विच इज इन आवर सिलेबस. तो अपनी कहानी सिलेबस की यहाँ से शुरू होती. बाय दैट टाइम डच आर आउस्टेड and Portuguese are also ousted. The question is, we'll come to the rivalry in a bit. The question is, this rivalry is not only a mercantilist competition between the two companies. You have to understand it's a global competition between two empires. It's not East India Company of Britain and France fighting in India for monopoly. वो तो है ही. हम देखेंगे कर्नाटक में क्या हुआ and why was Carnatic so important. We'll see that in detail. But the point, it was not only the local economic competition or rivalry between two companies, it was a global competition between the two nations for supremacy in colonies. So it was happening in India, it was taking place in North America at the same time, it was taking place in European continent as well. तो हम उसका छोटा थिएटर है. So we have local references and we have global references. And both the factors came together and then led to something called as Carnatic War. The showdown of this strength happened in the 20 years between 1740s and 1760s. उस 20 साल में लगातार 3 बड़े-बड़े युद्ध हुए and उसमें फिर समाचार ले लिया गया फ्रेंचों का. So outcome was very simple. French lost the ambition to capture India and British after that had no other European rival, but they still had many Indian rivals. तो पहले पुर्तगीज हटा दिए, फिर डच, फिर फ्रेंच, एंड देन द जर्नी स्टार्ट्स ऑफ कॉन्करिंग इंडिया पार्ट बाय पार्ट. तो इसके आगे की जो कहानी होगी, द स्टोरी आफ्टरवर्ड्स फ्रॉम हियर 1757 we have Plassey till here 1857 is a journey of 100 years of conquest of India, right? From Plassey 57 से लेके 1857 तक, how India was conquered one by one, and we're going to see that journey in detail, region by region, empire by empire, event by event. We have to see that, and we have lots of questions. At least 2-4 साल तो उस पे आते ही आते हैं हर साल. तो मैं देखेंगे. It will take at least 4 or 5 lectures afterwards. We'll see that in detail. But point is, we should understand that company is formed in 1600, और पहले 150 साल तक they appear as if they are silent, but in reality they were not silent. They were not silent. अब हमें पता है कि first 50 years they removed Portuguese, then Dutch. एक समय ऐसा भी आया था, they were so desperate to get rid of this balance of trade issue that they thought कि let us get some political power, and they used their navy and छोटी सी जो आर्मी थी, somehow they had larger than life image of themselves. लगा कि हम बड़े तोप है. So in 1680 we have a war called, यहाँ पे 1680 कहाँ पे आएगा आपका, यहाँ पे, called Anglo-Mughal War. Anglo-Mughal War. इसमें British tried to attack Mughals also and capture some parts of Hooghly and some parts of Bombay कि हमारा हम टैक्स देंगे नहीं, हम आपका सिल्वर रुपया हम मिंट करेंगे, will not pay you anything, and this is our territory, हमें चाहिए. But Mughals were very powerful, no doubt at that time. औरंगजेब तो बहुत powerful था. So the assessment of British was wrong. It is called Child's War. So British were easily defeated very quickly and very heavily. The people were captured, the area was captured, they had to pay नाक घिस के 1.5 लाख रुपए का जुर्माना, compensation 1.5 like 15 lakh rupees, and then only all the trading rights of the British were restored by the Mughals. Mughals were thinking ठीक है कर लो ट्रेड, हमारा ही फायदा है उसमें, we are one of the many companies. तो the rights were restored, but British understood कि ना अभी हमारा समय नहीं आया है. In 1680s it was too early to go and capture and do all those things. We should wait and wait and wait. In between French became powerful, तो चलो उनको भी हटा देते हैं. So it is after 50 years, उसके 2 generations बाद दोबारा वो चीजें शुरू होती in 1740s. ठीक है. So our story actually begins in this context of British versus French rivalry that happens in 1740s to 1760s. But this has been the previous context. The question is, in this rivalry, something is gonna happen which will change the overall nature of this conflict. Conflict abhi kin mein hai? It's between the European companies only. But now a point will come where this rivalry between European companies, their competition, their violence, their war, will necessarily involve the participation of Indian powers in it. अब ये क्या होता है? Because they want to build forts, they want to have fortification, because they want to have small army, they want to attack each other. आपको आर्मी खड़ी करनी है, किला बनाना है, fortification करना है. What does it mean? It means you are trying to become state. And how can any local ruler allow that? Local ruler will allow all the companies to come and trade, but sovereignty is his, not of the companies. So without the permission, if any of these companies start building fortification, start fighting each other using violence, the ruler will get angry to stamp down. Nah. It is here the conflict overspilled into Indian territory. In both domains, in Carnatic and in Bengal, जहाँ पे कहानी शुरू होती है, same thing happened. The battle was actually between British and French. And in that battle, in south, they started attacking each other. So local ruler had to get involved, Anwaruddin. In Bengal also, they started attacking each other. So local ruler, Siraj, had to get involved. And in the process, the local ruler was defeated, and that actually created the opportunity for the British to capture India. Game plan वो था ही नहीं. Game plan क्या था? They wanted some political influence. Yes. Why did they want political influence? To establish monopoly, to get tax discount, to get all those things which are as a concession, which will help them benefit their profit, increase their profit, and remove the rivalry. उतना ही हेतु था. But in the process, they ended up capturing political power. इसीलिए हम कहते हैं that in mercantilist idea, trade and politics cannot be separated completely. दोनों साथ में चलता है. Why? Because they wanted to use violence to create monopoly. तो monopoly and violence तो बस state के domain में आएगा. It's domain of state, not of the companies. So that is how the things got mixed up. ठीक है. Any doubt? ये तो बहुत ही वेग बातें हो गई ऊपर से, but I thought कि थोड़ा concept की clarity was necessary. So we have a question by Abhiram. During the second half of the 17th century, when the British and Dutch were fighting, did the Mughals not notice, or did they just not care? But it's a good question. Mughals may have noticed. But there are two things. Some of the fights took place not in India, but in Southeast Asia, especially the massacre of Amboya, etc. Major things took place there. And secondly, some of the conflicts took place near Indian coast on ocean, जहाँ पे Mughals did not have any power. It was very well clear that European companies are ruling the ocean, while Mughals are very major landed power. So Mughals are dependent on European companies for anything on ocean. उनके पास खुद की नेवी थी नहीं. They couldn't have done anything. ठीक है. Is it clear? Let us go on. So अब आती है कहानी अपनी Carnatic War, Anglo-French rivalry पे. See, again, let me tell you one more thing once at the cost of repetition. What is happening is the companies coming with need for forts, navy, army, wars, peace treaties, etc., armed trade, use of violence. Companies are challenging the sovereignty of local rulers by building this fortification. They want to have influence over local rulers to get monopoly, oust rivals, etc. तो ये जो war होता है, in this war, British versus French actually, company starts amassing more authority, more right, more power. So the transition starts taking place from being a trading concern to being a political power. तो यहाँ के एंट्री में जो है कंपनी इज अ ट्रेडिंग कंपनी, प्योरली ट्रेडिंग कंपनी, बट एट द एंड ऑफ द कर्नाटिक वॉर कंपनी हैज बिकम अ स्टेट एंड पॉलिटिकल पावर. तो कंपनी बस युद्ध नहीं जीत रही है, इट्स ओन नेचर एंड कैरेक्टर इज गेटिंग ट्रांसफॉर्म्ड इनटू समथिंग एल्स. तो दैट इज ऑल्सो द आउटकम ऑफ कर्नाटिक वॉर. तो हम उसको भी देखेंगे. The transformation of company from a trading concern to a political power. The journey as a political power began in Carnatic, where the company first intervened in the succession matter of Indian rulers. It took this model from French governor Duplessis. तो ये हम डिटेल में देखेंगे अभी. At that time, the only rival power left was the French company. The French were were the latecomer in India, but they became a very formidable rival to the British company by 1730s. A conflict for supremacy between the two started from South India, and this conflict was known as Carnatic War. So where is your Carnatic? This part is Carnatic. So Carnatic is not today's Karnataka. It is actually coastal Tamil Nadu, or rather Tamil Nadu wala part, that is Carnatic. In that era, आज जिसको कर्नाटक कहते हैं उसको उस समय नहीं कहते थे. Where is Carnatic? Especially this is the Coromandel coast, which is very much important, and that coast was उस समय under the ruler of Arcot. तो हुआ ये था that we have seen recently that there was formation of something called as Hyderabad state in 1724, right? by Nizam ul Mulk Asaf Jahan. After he established his domain, first in Aurangabad was the capital and then Hyderabad. He started expanding southwards, but he did not get time because he got involved into politics in north. तो उसके जो साथी थे, they helped him to expand southwards and capture all this region. And those people then later on became independent of Hyderabad also. तो notionally, जैसे Hyderabad notionally considers Mughal as sovereign, but practically it is independent and autonomous. Likewise, you have Carnatic emerged, which is considering Hyderabad as notionally sovereign, but practically it is independent. समझ में आया? पक्का? So Carnatic become practically independent, and it is in the domain of Carnatic, whose capital was Arcot, A-R-C-O-T. Arcot was the capital. We have all these companies, Pulicat, Pondicherry, Madras, Karaikal, Nagapattinam. ये सब जो important trading posts है या factories है, they all fall under the rule of. So politically, it was actually the backwaters of India. Not very important, but commercially, it became very important. So much so that it very soon started to compete with Surat and Diu. So Surat was the main port of India for centuries. उसको compete करने लगा तमिलनाडु उस समय. तो it highest amount of exports and all those. And what were they exporting exactly? Primarily textile. Why textile? Because that textile was used for a triangular trade with Southeast Asia to get spices, and those spices were sent to Europe. तो ये उनका पूरा गणित था. So that's why in the due course of spice trade from Indonesia, the Coromandel emerged to be a very important center. इसमें नागापट्टिनम करके जगह है, नागापट्टिनम और नागापट्टम. This was the headquarter of Dutch, Indian headquarter of Dutch, नागापट्टिनम. उनका जो इंडोनेशिया में था वो था बटेविया, एंड यहाँ पे नागापट्टनम. Similarly, we have Madras. Madras was established by British. They got some farman from the local ruler of Chandragiri, and they established Madras, and then वहाँ पे Fort St. George. And that also became, its trade increased so much very soon, very quickly, that entire Bihar, Bengal की जो सारे concern है company के, they were put under the control of Madras was the headquarter of entire eastern coast for some time. जब कलकत्ता था भी नहीं, उसके पहले की बात. Calcutta came in 1700. Even before that, Madras was very important. Madras controlled entire eastern coast from Bihar, Bengal till south. So that was the importance of Coromandel coast for British, as Madras with Madras as their headquarter. And then south of Madras, you have Pondicherry, which was the French headquarter. And Pondicherry was also very important. South of Pondicherry, again, you have Port St. David, वो दोबारा ब्रिटिश है. So you have this entire region dotted with lots of forts and lots of ports, and this became very important. तो conflict भी होता है, यहीं पे होता है, in the domain of a ruler of Arcot or the Carnatic. So that's why we call it Carnatic Wars. And why this region? Because again, trade is very important, and if trade is very popular important here, तो यहीं पे monopoly करना is important. The basic idea of all these companies is not live and let live, is to stamp out, is to finish off the opponent physically and violently, ताकि ये सारा trade हमरे कब्जे में आए. Because belief is mercantilism. अगर हमरे कब्जे में नहीं तो हमारा नुकसान हो रहा है. Zero sum game, finite wealth. So, and that conflict was part of the global conflict मैंने बताया between British and French. ठीक है, clarity है पूरी. True. So what were the causes? Very simple. Both British and Dutch companies competed with to monopolize the trade. British and Dutch नहीं चाहिए, British and French चाहिए. Sorry. Companies competed to monopolize their trade from the region of South India, and Coromandel Coast was very important for international trade. Both French and British companies started to compete with each other in extending their influence to southern states. The first is to monopolize the trade. Second is to extend the influence over the state. Now, the more influence you have over the local ruler, better concession you get. And the more influence you have over local ruler, worse concession your opponents get. तो इसके लिए रूलर तो they started interfering in local politics में. And the Carnatic Wars got involved with European question as well. In other words, the European conflict started in Europe. If the conflict starts between British and French, that was extended up to India as well. So global, local, and locally trade and politics. All these three factors come together. Okay? And what connected them? It's the philosophy of mercantilism. थोड़ा पानी पी लेते हैं. So in the span of 20 years, 3 wars were fought between British and French. First Carnatic War, second and third. Of which the first and the third were the spillover effect of something that is happening in England or in continent, in Europe. Only the second war was completely based on local conditions. तो पहला war शुरू होता है क्योंकि यूरोप में war शुरू हो गया. It spilled over in India also. And what was the reason? It's called as Austrian Succession War. So in the throne of Austria, some claimants were there, somebody from Spain, etc. And that involved all the European states one by one. So there was some kind of war in Europe, and that got extended to India. That war actually started in 1742. And by the time खबर यहाँ पहुंची, तब तक वहाँ का issue settle हो गया था लगभग. That did not matter. But because now the news has come here, people want to fight anyway. They got pretext, they got opportunity, and the war started. So you have the first Carnatic War started as the extension of the conflict in Europe in the pretext of Austrian War of Succession. The conflict started between British and French power in Europe, and this conflict came up to the doorstep of India after 2 years. In India, it was the British company which initiated the war, but very soon it received a discomfiture. अब ये थोड़ा सा देखो, what I have done is when I teach in prelims, I give you factual notes. But those notes are आपका पढ़ोगे उनको. I think they are uploaded. नहीं हो तो कर देता हूँ. मैंने बताया था वैसे. चेक कर लेना एक बार, बता देना मुझे. तो उसमें क्या होता है, we go to every single fact because sometimes for pre-angle they are important. But you find it difficult to reduce it to 4 lines or 3 lines in mains, in optional, if you don't know how to do that. यहाँ पे हम उसके summary and perspective दे देंगे. We will have both the handouts anyway. So first of all, मैंने एक लाइन यहाँ क्या लिखी है? It was British company which started the war, but very soon it received a discomfiture. Simple कहानी इतना है. उसका एक मेजर था, मेजर बार्नेट. मेजर बार्नेट started some war. कहाँ पे? समंदर पे. Because British had or the Europeans had some control over ocean, and they knew locals don't have control. उनका मानना clearly है. I was reading yesterday only in the book of John Kay. तो उसने लिखा है कि एक खत आया था मद्रास से लोकल नवाब को कि योर अथॉरिटी इज ऑन द लैंड, यहाँ पे हम कुछ नहीं करेंगे, बट आर अथॉरिटी इज ऑन द ओशन, वहां पे तुम कौन मुझे बोलने वाले, मैं जो चाहूँ करूँ। तो जस्ट अक्रॉस द पोर्ट इन द वाटर्स दिस कंपनीज यूज्ड टू फाइट विद ईच अदर। तो हुआ ये कि मेजर बार्नेट कैप्चर्ड सम शिप्स ऑफ द फ्रेंच ऑन द ओशन एंड देन फ्रेंच गॉट एंग्री, क्योंकि ब्रिटिशों ने शुरुआत करी, पहल करी है। तो फ्रेंच एक्चुअली, बिकॉज आई सेड इन 1720s दे हैड कॉट मॉरिशस, एंड वहां से उनकी फिर नेवी आना शुरू हो जाती है। So a large size of French fleet came to Indian Ocean and they started attacking British. British did not have navy nearby at that time. So French actually captured entire city of Madras. Madras को ही पूरा जीत लिया। So अंग्रेजों की नाक कट गई। शुरुआत तो उन्होंने करी थी, अब उनका कैपिटल ही चला मद्रास, which was the most important place for them. Headquarter of entire East India from Bihar to South is gone. So British came on back foot. Then British thought कि चलो it's a very delicate condition, we need to do something, let us do diplomacy. So they went to the Nawab of Carnatic. पहले नहीं गए थे, अब गए नाक घिसते घिसते, and they said कि and but चापलूसी देखो हद क्या होती है। They went to Nawab Carnatic, his name was Anwaruddin. They went to Anwaruddin and कहे कि भाई देखो अनवरुद्दीन साहब, this is your area of jurisdiction, it's your land, how can we fight, how can they use violence, it is going against your law and order, your authority, your sovereign, do something, stop them. So Anwaruddin भी भड़क गया। अब obviously from his viewpoint he was right to get angry because it is in his area, two people are fighting, there is no law and order, he has to ensure that this thing doesn't happen. तो अब जो इस समय ज्यादा वायलेंस कर पा रहा है उसको रोकना पड़ेगा। सो अनवरुद्दीन ने पहले तो एक खत भेजा। एट दैट टाइम द फ्रेंच गवर्नर वाज डुप्ले ने कहा ना, आई डोंट ऑनर दिस खत, आई डोंट ऑनर योर रिक्वेस्ट। तो नवाब गॉट एंग्री, ही असेंबल्ड आर्मी ऑफ 10,000 पीपल and that army marched to French possessions. And near मद्रास के बगल में सेंट थोम है, सेंट थोम पे एक बैटल हो गया। In that battle, it's a major battle, a very important battle, first direct battle जहाँ पे in this Carnatic war between Indian and Europeans. And here you have on one side 10,000 large Anwaruddin army and a very small contingent of French. I think around 600-700 Europeans थे उसमें, 300-400 Indians थे। So not even 1/10 of the size of Indian army. But the battle happened, and in that battle, Anwaruddin was thoroughly defeated, roundly defeated. And everybody was surprised कि भाई Indian power cannot have its writ. इसको 10,000 की आर्मी को 700-800-900 लोगों ने खदेड़ दिया. And that became a very big thing. So when Nawab of Carnatic, Anwaruddin intervened into the matter, the French power could not be subdued. This war was known as Battle of Saint Thome, which took place in 1746. This battle proved the military superiority of European vis-a-vis Indian states for the first time. Then the small things continued here and there, which are of no consequence. Ultimately, before anything could be finalized in India, the battle got ended in Europe itself. So the moment it got ended in Europe, they had a treaty in Europe at a place called Aix-la-Chapelle. और फिर इंडिया में वॉर स्थगित हो गया, and there was mutual restitution of the territories, जिसका जितना था उसको वापस मिल गया. That was the end of the war. So nobody won exactly, but we saw that French were able to conquer Madras. They had naval superiority, and secondly, French were able to defeat the local ruler as well. So technically, war end हुआ without any proper solution, a proper winner coming out of it. But the overall sense was that French have the upper hand. ठीक है। अब what was the consequences or lessons of this war? जहाँ पे हमें interest ज़्यादा है। Firstly, superiority of the European military is proven. The real significance of the First Carnatic War lay in the outcome of the Battle of Saint Thome, which proved the military superiority of small but well-trained European forces over large Indian armies. अब ये क्या है exactly? What was their technology? Because throughout the centuries, you will see that whenever there is an invader coming to India and he wins, that happens because of some superior military technology. Aryans came with horses and chariots. You also have later on Kushanas coming up with some kind of bow and arrow, some kind of better horses. You have later on the Mughals, or not Mughals, even before that, the Turks coming up with Rakab, Jeen and all those things, saddle horse. Then you have Mughals coming up with firepower, the cannons. So every few centuries, a new technology comes and the invaders have upper hand because research is not happening in India. अब यहाँ पे क्या रिसर्च था ऐसे? They had introduced a new technique called as light infantry. लाइट इन्फेंट्री आपने देखा होगा कई सारे मूवीज में यू हैव पीपल मेकिंग द स्क्वायर फॉर्मेशंस, कुछ लोग नीचे बैठ के बंदूक तान के बैठे हैं, कुछ खड़े बंदूक के बैठे हैं, बिकॉज वी हैव दोस मैचलॉक्स एंड फ्लिंट लॉक्स एट अ टाइम फॉर लोडिंग रीलोडिंग. सो यू जस्ट फॉर्म अ स्क्वायर, यू डोंट मूव एट ऑल बिकॉज यू आर ट्रेंड इन फ्रंट ऑफ फायर, हिलना भी नहीं है वहां से, एंड कीप फायरिंग ऑन द हॉर्सेस एंड एलिफेंट्स. So that becomes a formidable unit of attack. And Indian traditional warfare was not able to defeat that, to remove them. तो हमारे लोग मरते रहे. So that is what is there. So we have the shift in the balance of power getting perceptibly noticed for the first time in favor of British or European rather than Indians. That was the first major outcome. हाँ, एक ये है कि there is an instance in some books when historians claim that it proved that Europeans military were superior forever after this and Indians were completely backward. That is not true. That is not true because ये कब वॉर होता है? 1730s, 40s, 50s की बात है. Within 20-30 years, a major Indian states, टीपू सुल्तान हो, हैदर अली हो, और या फिर मराठास हो, महाजी सिंधिया हो, या even after that, you have Maharaja Ranjit Singh emerging. All of these people quickly employ European technicians and soldiers and generals and learn and copy all these techniques. तो जो power balance था, पहले Europeans यहाँ and Indians यहाँ, in this battle of Saintum, within next 20-30 years, it became again equal. By 1760s, 70s. इसलिए हैदर, टीपू, मराठास को हराने के लिए अंग्रेजों को बहुत टाइम लगा. वो बाद वाली बात है. बट इस समय तो पावर बैलेंस बहुत ज्यादा है. इंडियंस विल हैव टू स्पेंड लॉट ऑफ मनी एंड एफर्ट्स टू अपग्रेड एंटायर आर्मी ऑफ डिफरेंट रीजनल पावर्स. वो बाद में इसके साथ शुरू होगा बिकॉज एवरीबडी इज ऑब्जर्विंग पूरे भारत में चल क्या रहा है यहाँ पे. सो यू हैव फर्स्ट आउटकम. देन सेकंड इज सुपीरियरिटी ऑफ फ्रेंच इन द फर्स्ट वॉर. The capture of Madras was salutary achievement. It enhanced the power and prestige of the French as a territorial and naval power in India. Third is Duplessis Court opening into domestic quarrel of Indian princes. So this thing becomes important for second and third war. It demonstrated for the first time the overwhelming far-reaching influence of sea power, and it was also proved that on ocean Indians can't do anything. आप भले जो क्या है कर लो. And secondly, it also revealed on the land also. Indians are weak. तो ओशन में यूरोपियन सुपीरियर थे ही. They had even the navy of French now coming on the coast of India, stationed there, and on the land they have power. अब ये जब हो जाता है, you are a big power now, and there was no Mughal backup on land. Initially, we knew that local powers are not as strong, but Mughals are strong. They can come and defeat you any point of time. Now the Mughals are weakened. They did not come. There is completely fragmented Indian polity. So even that backup is gone. So now the field is open for European companies to exploit. Second point, or the last point, East India Company started to build its private army. At Madras in 1721, the English company had totally only 544 men of all ranks. War with France saw a hasty reassessment of priorities, and thanks to in large part to extensive recruitment of Indian troops, in 1763, the Madras army mustered some 9,000 men. So by the end of it, तो यहाँ प्रोसेस शुरू होती है at the end of the first war. By the end of the third war, they have like 9,000-10,000 huge army. What does it mean? It means two things. Firstly, they are now recruiting Indians and they're training Indians to fight European warfare. So Indian soldiers can be trained to fight European war. That is proven. And secondly, now they have on land their own power. 150 साल से नहीं थी, इस बार हुई powership. They have their own army. These are the consequences of the first Carnatic War. But the major issue of the rivalry and trade monopoly between the two companies was not solved. So it was just the first round. When you come to second round, second war. Okay? So you go to the second Carnatic War. This war, unlike the first war, started on Indian question. यहाँ पे there was no European context. In the first war, it was Australian War of Succession. In the third war, it will be a 7 years war. But यहाँ पे कोई context है जो है local है इंडिया का. French and British companies intervened into succession matters of Indian states. In fact, a war of succession had started in two Indian states, Hyderabad and Carnatic. Both the companies intervened into the matter. तो है क्या इसमें भाई? In Hyderabad, कहानी है, the Nawab was Asaf Jahan, who formed Hyderabad state. Nizamul Mulk Chinkulich Khan Asaf Jahan first. He died in 1748. 48 में मर गया. उसके बाद देयर वाज अ सक्सेशन डिस्प्यूट इन हिज फैमिली कि किसको मिलेगा गद्दी, between two brothers Nasir Jung and Muzaffar Jung. Similarly, in the southern part, in Carnatic also, you have succession crisis. The Nawab was Anwaruddin, who had obviously helped British initially, but who got defeated in Battle of Saint Thom. So Anwaruddin was getting challenged by his son-in-law called Chanda Sahib. So in the family also there was feud. तो हुआ क्या कि दोनों major powers, Carnatic and Hyderabad, in both of them we have a tussle going on, battle of succession. किसके पास गद्दी होगी? And इस केस में French took the initiative because they had the upper hand in first war. वो दिमाग था डुप्ले का. डुप्ले took initiative. उसने कहा let me try and exploit this situation because now we have army, we have superiority. Let me use my thing. I will lend you my army on rent. अगर आपको दोनों को लड़ना है तो एक को मैं सपोर्ट करूंगा and in support I will give my army and the war will happen. In that you will win. If you go on throne, you pay me back. Simple business का नया मॉडल खोज लिया. So Dupleix joined one Muzaffar Alam or one Muzaffar Jung secretly in Hyderabad and he was supported Chanda Sahib in Carnatic. तो दोनों में Dupleix ने एक-एक को सपोर्ट कर दिया. तो होता क्या है, लेट अस थिंक ऑफ हैदराबाद फर्स्ट. हैदराबाद में Dupleix has supported मुजफ्फर जंग. कहानी सुन लो, मुजफ्फर जंग को सपोर्ट किया है. So there was a war. In that war, the competitor नासिर जंग इज एलिमिनेट, खत्म कर दिया उसको. खत्म करके मुजफ्फर जंग becomes the ruler. That means the person who was supported by Dupleix has become the ruler. That person who owes his गद्दी to French company. ये बहुत हैदराबाद जैसा बड़ा स्टेट का जो नवाब है, निजाम है, जो कोई है, ही इज देयर बिकॉज ऑफ फ्रेंच. ही इज फ्रेंच पपेट, ही इज फ्रेंच स्टूज. असली पावर गई फ्रेंच के हाथ में. तो फ्रेंच स्टार्टेड टू एक्सट्रैक्ट लॉट ऑफ मनी. में हम पैसा दे दो. बट आफ्टरवर्ड्स वेरी सून विद इन अ फ्यू मंथ्स ही लॉस्ट हिज लाइफ. तो मुजफ्फर जंग मर गया. उसके बाद नया आदमी दोबारा फ्रेंचों ने बिठाया, उसका नाम सलाबत जंग. So Muzaffar Jung was the first stooge. When he died, he passed away. They put next stooge. His name was Salabat Jung. And through this, it is the French who came to control Hyderabad state from behind the throne. असली kingmaker वो बन गए. And how much they extracted money out of it? तो कहा हमें पूरा coastal strip of Andhra Pradesh दे दो. All northern sarkars. So they got lot of. In other regions, they said कि the Dupleix person should be made the गवर्नर ऑफ एंटायर डोमेन ऑफ डेक्कन. तो वो मुगल गवर्नर बन गया Dupleix ऑफ एंटायर डोमेन साउथ ऑफ कृष्णा रिवर. तो Dupleix was at the height of his capability, height of his achievement. French company was at the height of its influence and they put their main person called डी बुसी. डी बुसी को रख दिया उन्होंने कि you will stay in Hyderabad with your army of a few thousand people to help Salabat Jung to control his state. But rather than helping Salabat Jung, डी बुसी kept on helping the French. वो तो सीधी बात है. So he did not serve Hyderabad, he served French, but he became the resident. And then through that he controlled everything. Pura politics of Hyderabad for many years to come. That is in Hyderabad. So what is happening in Carnatic? The same story happened in Carnatic initially. In Carnatic or Arcot, we have Chanda Sahib supported by Dupleix. So there was a battle of Ambur. In the battle of Ambur, Chanda Sahib came and defeated Anwaruddin, जो कि सिटिंग पर्सन था, उसको खत्म कर दिया, काट दिया, सर कलम कर दिया. So again, the French supported person Chanda Sahib became the head of the state. So French had upper hand in Carnatic also. But यहाँ पे एक गड़बड़ हो गई. The गड़बड़ was that the son of Anwaruddin, his name was Muhammad Ali. वो युद्ध में भाग के जिंदा निकल गया. बाप को तो काट दिया, सर कलम कर दिया, बेटा भाग गया. एंड मोहम्मद अली केम टू त्रिचिनापल्ली, जहां पे रुके थे ब्रिटिश ने उसको पनाह दे दी. सो इट टू रिफ्यूज विद ब्रिटिश एंड देन ब्रिटिश ने रिफ्यूज दे दिया. ब्रिटिश नो केम अंडर थ्रेट कि भाई अगर यहाँ का भी नवाब फ्रेंचों का बन गया तो हमारा बिजनेस खत्म, हमारा खेल खत्म. ब्रिटिश वेर फोर्स्ड टू इंटरवीन इनटू सक्सेशन क्राइसिस एंड सपोर्ट द अदर पार्टी, अपोजिट पार्टी. सो दे सपोर्टेड द मोहम्मद अली. तो अब उसको खत्म करने के लिए चंदा साहिब सेंट अनदर आर्मी and he encircled, he besieged entire British settlement. अब British came under pressure. What to do? उस समय a person who rose up to the occasion was Robert Clive. Robert Clive was very daredevil. उसने कहा मुझे थोड़ी आर्मी दे दो, मैं कुछ करता हूँ. I to fight Chanda Sahib here, let us bypass Chanda Sahib and go to his headquarter, his capital Arcot, और उसी को siege हम कर, counter siege हम करेंगे. So Clive took a small contingent of army and attacked the capital of Chanda Sahib and did not capture but besieged it. अब पूरा आपका कैपिटल ही अगर बिसीज हो गया है तो फिर चंदा साहब के अंडर थ्रेट, वो निकल गया यहाँ से, उसको अंग्रेजों को बचा दिया. He left. Afterwards a battle happened. In the battle चंदा साहब को भी सर काट दिया गया. British side won and Muhammad Ali became the Nawab. तो in Hyderabad from the very beginning till the end, French had the upper hand and they benefited hugely out of it. But in Carnatic, French had upper hand initially. They got some land also, like 80 villages near Madras, etc. But in the second half of the scheme, वहाँ पे British had upper hand. French lost the game, lost the plot. So Carnatic went into the British influence, under British influence. Hyderabad went under French influence. So at the end क्या हुआ? दोनों के पास एक स्टेट का influence चला गया. It became stalemate. Stalemate. That was the second Carnatic War. So at the end, Hyderabad fell under control of French power, while Carnatic fell under control of British power. ये नाम आप याद, चंदा साहिब कौन है, मुजफ्फर कौन है, सलाबत जंग कौन है, if you don't remember, it doesn't matter, don't worry. It is not that important. You can use some names sometimes for the sake of name dropping, कर लो, but I think it is difficult for you to memorize all these names. इतना आसान नहीं है. So in optional we don't even require to write these names everywhere. एक हाथ हनवरुद्दीन नेम आपको चाहिए होगा, लिख दो. Not very. Second war के ऊपर specific सवाल वैसे नहीं पूछते. I'll tell you what kinds of questions are asked and what kind of answers are required. ठीक है. So under the circumstances, it was a kind of stalemate in India. So the two companies arrived at a negotiated settlement. The representatives of the two companies started discussion leading to Treaty of Pondicherry. उस treaty में क्या हुआ? पहली बात, each side promised not to interfere in local power. The promise which they did not keep, obviously. Second thing, the war gave the British a stronghold over Carnatic, which was a setback for the French company because initially French had the stronghold, and secondly, Carnatic was much more important from trading viewpoint. वहीं के सारे सबके factories थे. Then we have the next thing happening, that is the recall of Dupleix. And this is something which is very interesting and important. Dupleix की जो पूरी ambition थी, उसकी जो पूरी नजर थी, the entire game plan of Second Carnatic War was the brainchild of Dupleix. He was the one who was able to think of a method कि अपनी army बनाओ, उसको rent out करो, intervene in local conflicts, and then have our person as a puppet on the throne and use that thing to extend our own power, to get more concession, to oust the rivalry. ये सब plan किसका? Dupleix का था. ये तो बाद में होता. It happens much later that Clive copies it, and not only copies it, executes it with much better efficiency in Bengal, and Plassey happens. So Plassey is successful experiment. The Second Carnatic War is unsuccessful Carnatic में, but idea किसके originally है? वो है Dupleix की. अब हुआ क्या कि because Carnatic went out of the French control, it led to huge losses. And then something else happened. Home pressure की वजह से Dupleix was recalled. French authorities in Paris said Dupleix is problematic. He has created huge losses for us. Because of him, the war started in the first place. It was completely unnecessary war. क्यों करना था? Business कर दे. We suffered lot of losses. We even suffered loss of political prestige. Dupleix की गलती है, उसको हटा दो वहां से. And that French people did from Paris under pressure of British also. And सबसे बड़ी गलती वो. Dupleix had the perception. Dupleix had the perceptiveness to capture these parts of India. उसने पूरा खेल शुरू किया तो उसको आधे में से उठा दिया गया. Secondly, it was not only because of the financial losses. You also understand, as I said, the French company is structurally different from British company. British company क्या है? It's a joint stock company, completely private company. it suffers in own losses, it has its own profit, it supports the state in some cases, but है तो practically independent company. But in case of France, it is not so. Majority of shares are owned by the government. A French company is actually the arm of the state. So the interest of the state overpower over the interest of the company. सीधी बात है. Politics of Paris is important than economics of India in decision making. So what happened is at that time, French were more concerned about their colonies in North America. Their focus was in the continent and in North America. For them, India was just a small footnote. Why to bother? So they were willing to settle. So when British pressure came, they wanted to get something back in North America. उन्होंने कहा ठीक कोई बात नहीं, आप भी छोटा स्विच ले लो, हमें नहीं चाहिए. So because of the nature of French company, because of the nature of the French politics, they had to sacrifice Dupleix. That led to long-term consequences because Dupleix, once he was removed from the scene, then the field was open for British to capture. उसके बदले जो आदमी भेजा उन्होंने, his name was Charles Godehou. लिखा है यहाँ पे Charles Godehou. He was utterly incompetent person. He neither had capability nor time to learn Indian nitty-gritties and niceties. When he came to India, it took him a lot of time to understand यहाँ पे game है क्या. By the time he understood, it was too late. So he was incompetent. But with his recall, there was a complete reversal of Dupleix policy. देखो, जैसे मैंने कहा कि at the center, at the midst, in the midst of the Second War, Dupleix was the governor of entire Deccan south of Krishna. He had captured this region on coastal area. So he had huge influence in Hyderabad. सब कुछ जैसे वो recall कर दिया गया, it was led to complete reversal of Dupleix policy, which served as a huge blow to French political ambitions in India, since it was his vision and ambition which had made the French company a real contender for power in the Indian subcontinent in the first place. His work was undone in Carnatic. Only in Hyderabad, on the other hand, Debussy continued the influence. He stayed there, he stayed put. And Hyderabad still continued to remain under French influence. And Carnatic went under British influence. ठीक है? Story clear? हाँ, तो एक जो एरिया ऑफ क्वेश्चन होता है वो होता है असेसमेंट ऑफ डुप्लेक्स. ठीक है, तो फॉर एग्जांपल, डिड द रिकॉल ऑफ डुप्ले लीड टू द फ्रेंच फेल्यूर इन इंडिया? अगर आपको ये पूछा जाए, to some extent yes, to some extent no. First of all, what was his contribution? He was the first one to see the fragmented political structure of 18th century India, in which local powers are not powerful and they can be used for expanding our own influence. He was the one who realized the value of creating a protective force and lending it as a mercenary army local powers to create influence. तो ये सर उसकी अकल थी, तो उसने रास्ता खोल दिया. तो ही रहता अगर तो फायदा होता. He was a genius, but understand his genius was more political than military. He was not a great military leader, unlike British people who had a lot of Robert Clive hai, we have Hector Munro hai, we have Ayr Coote hai, many people are there. And he was rather ill served by his own lieutenant. उसके पास दिमाग था, but दिमाग को सपोर्ट करने के लिए फ्रेंच आर्मी का जो कमिटमेंट चाहिए, they were always fighting amongst each other. He did not get complete full and final command and control over these people. So he was ill served by his own lieutenants within India, by his own French Navy in Indian Ocean, and by his own French government in Paris. तीनों लेवल पे he did not get any support. तो उसका brilliant plan would succeed for some time, but then failed. On the other hand, उतना ही brilliant plan जो था क्लाइव का, Clive got support of his comrades, of his navy, and later on of his home also. So he became successful in Bengal. ठीक है. The question is, did the removal of Dupleix lead to the end of the French ambition in India? जो हमने लिखा है, is it true? Well, to some extent it is true, but not completely. Primarily because there was no such plan in the first place. Right? British policy and French policy, both policies were not about creating all India empire anyway. They're about maximizing the trade benefit. So even Clive in Plassey did not have the plan of creating all India empire. वो तो बनते बन गया. ठीक है. So we have to give that kind of assessment about Dupleix. Dupleix's role, contribution, And did his recall lead to the end of French ambition? ये एक typical area of question होता है. Then you go to the next part. So even before the treaty could be ratified at home, the 7 Years' War broke out. Thus, the only effect of this treaty was to give the breathing space to the two sides for some time. So we have the Third Carnatic War. Once again, this war started on European question. This war was the extension of 7 Years' War to India. What is this 7 Years' War? We don't need to know, but understand 7 Years' War was fought in India, in Europe, in Asia, in Europe, and also in America. It was called as the Mini World War. Mini World War. All the European countries were divided into two parts and fought on the continent. Apart from the all European participation, it was also fought on all the continents. It was a mini World War. The French government sent an important military officer to India. His name was Count de Lally, to lead the French party, but even de Lally could not manage the situation properly. तो इंडिया में उन्होंने भेजा डी लैली को, but de Lally was not able to control situation. एक समय तो ऐसे आया that de Lally was getting swamped by British again and again. He felt need because he did not have money. तो उसने युद्ध बीच में छोड़ दिया. He started attacking Indian rulers at Tanjore, for example, कि भाई पैसे दे मुझे. क्यों? पैसे आएंगे तो I will create my army again and start fighting war, because the French government in Pondicherry did not have enough money to pay even salary of the soldiers. फंस गए बेचारे. तो lack of resources, lack of leadership, internal disputes, and ultimately when de Lally faced choked, उसने कहा डी बुसी को, भाई आ जा मेरे पास. तो डी बुसी against his own wisdom had to leave Hyderabad and come to Carnatic with his army. The moment de Bussy left Hyderabad, even Hyderabad went outside the influence of French. ब्रिटिश पीछे से आए, हैदराबाद भी कैप्चर कर लिया, मतलब इन्फ्लुएंस में अंदर लेके आए. तो कर्नाटक तो गया था, मैं जीते, हैदराबाद था, वहां पर डी बुसी रुकता तो शायद आगे कुछ होता, पर डी बुसी हैड टू गो बिकॉज ऑफ ललित इन्फ्लुएंस कि चलो यहाँ से मुझे मदद करने आ जाओ. तो हैदराबाद वाज आल्सो गॉन. So earlier the French earlier lost the control of Hyderabad, and finally it lost in the total war. In 1760, in the Battle of Wandiwash, the British under Sir Eyre Coote routed the French under de Lally completely. And युद्ध हुआ Wandiwash, it's a very major battle, and with Sir Eyre Coote, who was called back to India at that time specially to fight the war, but he defeated de Lally completely. In 1763, there was a peace between French and British, and the French factories were returned, but they could not be fortified. After this, the French lost India and could not ever recover. तो simple बात यही है कि the major events here, de Lally's incompetent leadership, lack of finances on the part of French, strategic error to call Bussy, and defeat in Wandiwash. ये चार major instances है, because of which British completely had the upper hand. The French were lost totally. So what was the outcome? The Third Carnatic War proved to be the final blow to French political ambitions in India. French factories in Pondicherry were returned, but without fortifications and confined only to local trade. However, the possibility of the French empire in India was completely over. By the end of the Third War, the East India Company had the upper hand. Kaise? It became the territorial power, because now it had control over the coastal strip of Andhra Pradesh. It had control over many villages as local zamindari, and it had influence over the two main powers, Carnatic and Hyderabad. It established the preeminence in Hyderabad, and the most substantial gain was, however, in the eastern India after the Battle of Plassey. तो Battle of Plassey जो होती है, वो इसी battle part है. That in this process, when 7 Years' War actually started in Europe, French and British started to fight each other in Bengal as well as in Carnatic. But in Bengal and Carnatic, time scale थोड़ी अलग है. 7 Years' War शुरू हो गया यूरोप में, इंडिया में झगड़ा शुरू होते बंगाल में भी, यूरोप में भी, in Carnatic में भी. But in Bengal, the battle starts immediately. British attack French and Chandarnagar, and the events lead to ultimately Battle of Plassey, जो हम बाद में देखेंगे अलग से, but इसके बीचों बीच होती. In South, however, British Navy is not in South, it is in Bengal. British don't have much of the power to fight, so they don't want to start the fight in south. At the same time, the French Navy is far away. It takes some months to reach and bring resources. तो फ्रेंच भी थोड़ा युद्ध से परहेज कर रहे हैं, तब तक बंगाल की कहानी खत्म हो जाती है. And then the war starts in Carnatic. By that time, French resources have come up, but they are meager. And British are able to pour in huge amount of resources from Bengal से पैसे के ऊपर पैसे फेंके जा रहे हो. Because there are many small tactical events in which Delhi gets upper hand. यहीं पे खत्म करो, फिर British will bring 2 more people. यहाँ पे खत्म करो, bring some more. British are able to pour in men after men and money after money because they have control of Bengal. So French get exhausted and then ultimately defeated. ठीक है, बट ये कहानी प्लासी एंड थर्ड बैटल ऑफ कर्नाटक आर कनेक्टेड, बट हम दोनों को अलग अलग देखते हैं. बट द पॉइंट इज दैट बैटल ऑफ प्लासी वाज आल्सो द आउटकम ऑफ द थर्ड कर्नाटिक वॉर. देयर वाज नियर कंप्लीट फ्रेंच एक्सपल्शन फ्रॉम बंगाल टू, एंड सून द फ्रेंच कंपनी वाज रैप्ड अप इन वेरी सून 1769 कंपनी को ही खत्म कर दिया, एंड द कंपनीज पोजीशंस वर ओवरटेकन बाय द फ्रेंच गवर्नमेंट. इट वाज रन एज गवर्नमेंट कंसर्न एंड कंपनी वाज नो मोर देयर. ठीक, यहाँ पे 2-3 चीजें आई हैव टू टेल यू. सो दिस कंपनी कंटिन्यू टू एग्जिस्ट फॉर अराउंड 105 साल का एग्जिस्टेंस रहा कंपनी का. उसमें दे वर एबल टू डू लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स, बट इवन आफ्टर द डिफीट फ्रेंच के बारे में इन ब्रिटिश माइंड कॉन्टिन्यूस कुछ ना कुछ चला कि ये रिवाइव हो सकते हैं वापस. एंड वी हैव मेनी सच इंस्टेंसेस. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इमीडिएटली आफ्टर 7 years war, what we have is American War of Independence, right? And in American War of Independence, French position themselves against British. हमने देखा है, and they support Americans. उसमें वो खुद ही बर्बाद हो जाते हैं. That leads to French Revolution also. So we have, when American War of Independence going on, at that time in India, we have the possibility of French coming to help local powers, especially Mysore. It's a time of Hyder Ali, and the second Anglo-Mysore War is going on. And in second Anglo-Mysore War, the British tend to become overly aggressive. And that is because of their fear in mind that the French will come and support these people. First Hyder and then Tipu. So there is a French booth going on. French menace. चलो वो तो कुछ हुआ नहीं. Then we have French Revolution. After French Revolution 1789, we have 1797 Napoleon. Napoleon ने कहा था मैं इंडिया जाऊंगा. Right? So before he could become the emperor, even Napoleon tried to defeat British by ensuring that let us attack their weakest point in Indian empire. If we control the empire, we control British. But how do we control empire? We have to cut the pathway. कैसे? पहले इजिप्ट जाते हैं. So Napoleon carried the expedition to Egypt, and he was at that time in touch with Tipu Sultan. And that created another problem. So British in India again got aggressive, and they sent Lord Wellesley to India. और वेलेस्ली साहब जो थे उन्होंने इजाद कर दिया something called a subsidiary alliance to ensure French don't get toehold back in India again. And then they eliminated Tipu also in the fourth Anglo-Mysore War. That is again in the context of the menace, French menace. सच में French आते या नहीं आते हमें नहीं पता. Maybe that was just used as a pretext by British to justify their aggression. That is also partly true, and partly they genuinely feared that India would be lost to French. तो ये है. बट इस सब में एक और चीज घटी कि इफ नॉट द फ्रेंच स्टेट, द इंडिविजुअल फ्रेंच मशीनरीज जो कि अब उनके पास स्किल सेट है, नॉलेज बेस है, बट एंड दे वांट टू सीक फॉर्च्यून आल्सो, दे स्प्रेड अक्रॉस इंडिया. पूरे भारत में जैसे some people went in the court of Marathas in Pune, some went in the court of Hyder and Tipu, some went to the court of even Mahadji Scindia like Peron, some went to the court of later on महाराजा रणजीत सिंह. सो सबसे जितने बड़े बड़े राजा महाराजा देश में हर एक की कोर्ट में 2-4 फ्रेंच लोग चले गए, एंड दे सेड कि भाई वी हैव द टेक्निक, ब्रिटिश आर राइजिंग, वी विल टेल यू द बेटर टेक्नोलॉजी, लेटेस्ट टेक्नोलॉजी, विल ट्रेन योर आर्मी, गिव अस मोर एंड मोर मनी एंड सैलरी. These French individual soldiers and opportunity seekers helped different Indian native courts to upgrade their military and technology. So that जब आगे जाकर युद्ध होगा बिटवीन इंडियंस एंड ब्रिटिश, तो ये फ्रेंच जो होंगे इनके टेक्नोलॉजी की वजह से अंग्रेज के खिलाफ हम लड़ पाएंगे. सो फ्रेंच इवन आफ्टर बैटल ऑफ वॉन्डी वॉश, and when they completely defeated and routed, we have 3-4 instances where they were able to create nuisance for British. बहुत बाद में जाके वो खत्म हो जाता है, ठीक है। So you have this story going on, but practically and substantially, the Battle of Pondiwash is the end of the French ambition. Afterwards, they just remained some kind of nuisance for British. Abhiram was asking, the British and French came to trade, and then by a combination of policies and coincidences ended up conquering Carnatic and Bengal. Does this give at least some sort of credence to the theory that British conquered in the fit of absent-mindedness? Abhiram, we will discuss that question in detail. Okay, I just wanted to finish the first phase till 1800, 1813. Let us finish कर्नाटिक, बंगाल, मैसूर एंड मराठा। ये जब 4 चीजें हो जाएंगी, देन वी विल हैव created appropriate amount of database of instances which I can use to justify the arguments. तो ये आर्गुमेंट जो है ना, फिट ऑफ ऑप्शन माइंडेडनेस, ये आर्गुमेंट आता कब है? इट कम्स इन 19th century, especially because in the Victorian era people want to justify the creation of glorious empire, कहाँ से बना, उस समय ये आइडिया आती है। एंड एट दैट टाइम वी हैव टू यूज द एग्जांपल्स फ्रॉम ऑल दिस 4 इंस्टेंसेस एंड देन वी विल अराइव एट कंक्लूजन। तो हम उसको उस केस में देखेंगे, ठीक है। लेट मी गिव यू एन आइडिया, मैं बता क्यों रहा हूँ ये। वी हैव दिस 18th century, you have Plassey in between, we have death of Aurangzeb in 1707, you have 1818 Maratha war, and 1813 the Charter Act comes. तो हम कहते हैं कि the first half of 18th century is from here till here, decline of Mughal and emergence of regional power. So the historiographical issue in the first half is about the nature of India. Dark age है कि नहीं, हम देख लिया। Similarly, there is another issue about this part. Debate regarding historiography, उसमें 2 major angles है। एक एंगल है ये कि did British capture India through a bit of absent-mindedness, and the examples of that are Carnatic War, Plassey Buxar, and then Mysore and Marathas. तो इन 4 को लेकर हम कहेंगे कि अब था ये नहीं, तो we have to debate and discuss that. And the second part is, did British bring modernity to India? Was it a good thing? If it is a dark age, is it the bright age? क्या हमारा बेहतर हुआ, अच्छा हुआ, बुरा हुआ? So was the British a force of modernization or not? Or that also, we have to talk about the system of administration that British created in this era onwards in Bengal and other parts. तो the historiographical angle of second half of 18th century हम देखेंगे मराठों के बाद, ठीक है। Okay, so the reasons for French failure. The first, the British company was much ahead of the French company in expertise, resources, and enthusiasm. That is the basic point. And I also am gonna tell you, you should write this point as the first point in your answer if there is a direct question on the reasons for British success and French failure. Because समझो क्लाइव नहीं होता वहां पे, या डुप्ले को नहीं निकालते, तो क्या फ्रेंच जीतते? शायद थोड़ा लंबा चलता। But inherently, the material condition, the geographic expansion, the trade control was in favor of British. फ्रेंचों ने 1720 से लेके 1740 तक, in 20 years, French increased their capacity by 20-30 times. Huge amount, rapid rise. Despite that, the British were already quite ahead. तो French had the advantage of base effect. तो उनका rise percentage में बहुत ज़्यादा दिखता है, but in absolute term, British were already quite ahead. So उनके नजदीक फ्रेंच नहीं पहुंचे। तो भले कितनी भी आप कूदो एज अ फ्रेंच, 2-4 wars और जीत जाओ, there was a possibility that British would win because British had more resources. British at that time, Britain as a country was also on the verge of industrial revolution. French were not. But anyway, in India, they had more resources. That is the first point. Second point, British company was commercially more successful than the French company. So home and India, both. Thirdly, अब you come to the strategic and individual thing. Duplessis error. अब डुप्ले की गलती क्या रही, उसने ना, यू डोंट हैव द स्ट्रॉन्ग फाउंडेशन, एंड जैसे कि हम कहते हैं यू हैव नॉट डन फाउंडेशन कोर्स, एंड फ्रॉम द फर्स्ट मंथ सर आंसर राइटिंग सिखाओ, यू कांट डू आंसर, आप डुप्ले बन जाओगे। सो यू हैव टू क्रिएट सम फाउंडेशन बेसिस नॉलेज एंड देन उसके आधार पे आप कूदोगे आगे थोड़ा सा। So instead of focusing on trades to financially enrich the company in the first place, Dupley attempted to extend territorial claims. Thus, his initial success could not be sustained in the long run as he could not absorb the cost of the war for a long time. He was able to overpower British in first few moves, but when it came to protracted struggle, then he was lacking. क्योंकि his ambitions were not supported by his capabilities of army and finance of the company. His, as I said, his skill was less as military general, was less as commercial thinker, but more as a diplomat and political person. तो political person तभी आगे जा पाएगा जब पीछे support होगा उसको, नहीं था. So he was finally handicapped by lack of resources of the company. Next point, French were inferior at sea, naval dominance. We saw that French had to no permanent base near India, Mauritius far away than Bengal, while the British had mastery over Indian seas. Ultimately, in the first battle, in the third battle, etc., you will see that naval superiority came handy a lot. French did not have any base in India. उनका base था हमेशा Mauritius. उनको कुछ भी चाहिए था, पहले वहां पे नौका भेजो, मैसेज भेजो, फिर वहां की नेवी इकट्ठा होगी, धीरे धीरे इंडिया पहुंचे. It used to take at least 3 months, 2 months for it to come to India to support them. British had the naval base in Madras, in Bengal, in Bombay. They're able to assemble navy very quickly. French were, and देखो हमें पता है, see, one thing we have to accept, the British were still not able to create the strongest navy in the world. French had a long, huge navy, but it was not in India. That is the problem. Like Napoleon, when he went to Egypt, उसके बाद जो ब्रिटिश ने किसको भेजा था, नीचे नेल्सन को भेजा था. And Nelson fought French Navy at the Battle of Pyramids के बगल में, और वहां पे फ्रेंच नेवी को खत्म कर दिया उसको. तभी तो बताओ ये होता कब है, 1797 में. ये है 1750s and 40s. तो फ्रेंच do have a huge navy. If you look at the global scale, British don't have the dominance completely, but locally French Navy is not easily accessible and available. And whenever it is, the French naval commander is always fighting against the French land commander. डुप्ले के साथ झगड़ा करना, बात नहीं मानना. एक बार तो ऐसे हुआ था इन द फर्स्ट कर्नाटिक वॉर, मद्रास वाज कैप्चर्ड बाय फ्रेंच, मैंने बताया था. अब उसका करे क्या, व्हाट शुड बी नेक्स्ट स्टेप. उसके बीच में ला बोर्डेनास हुआ द फ्रेंच नेवल एडमिरल एंड फ्रेंच लैंड में डुप्ले में झगड़ा हुआ है. डुप्ले ने कहा कि मद्रास हम ले लिया है, कहना नहीं चाहिए था, वी शुड गिव इट बैक टू अनवरुद्दीन, कि भाई आपका इलाका, आपका देश है, आप ही रखो, जो करना है करो, हमें नहीं चाहिए. बट बॉर्डनेस ने कहा ना, तो उनमें झगड़ा हो गया, कर रहे क्या. तो बॉर्डनेस ने मद्रास को अंग्रेजों को वापस बेच दिया, पैसे लिए और अपनी नेवी लेके चला गया. तो डुप्ले को अब एक देश के लोग अलग देश के लोग हैं. डुप्ले हैड टू कॉन्कर मद्रास वंस अगेन, एंड देन ऑल दोस लेटर ऑन थिंग्स हैपेंड. अनवरुद्दीन आया आर्मी लेके वगैरह, सेंट होम बाद में होता है. तो सो मच ऑफ द डिस्कॉर्ड एंड डिसयूनिटी अमंग्स फ्रेंच. सो नेवी है बट लोकली एंड इफेक्टिवली अवेलेबल नहीं है. दैट इज द पॉइंट. British company was led by competent officers like Sir Eyre Court, Robert Clive, and many other. But except Dupleix, French company did not enjoy the support of any competent officer. It is very true. Very true. So success and failure is not only of Clive and Dupleix individually. It's, अगर आप किताब पढ़ोगे by Percival Spear, it talks about कि this is not the success and failure of one person. It's a success and failure of entire nation. आपके जो नेशनल कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स होते हैं, सिर्फ डिसिप्लिन है, कोऑपरेटिवनेस है, कॉम्पिटेंसी है, ये सारी चीजें एक एज ए टीम आप काम करते हो. जब आप टीम की तरह काम करोगे तो ब्रिटिश वॉन बिकॉज ऑफ देयर ऑल values that came as British and not because of one person was more capable. And French got success because of one person but lost because of their national characteristics. This is what the British type historians would say. ठीक, पर हमें लिखना क्या सिर्फ है, French had less competent people, British had more competent people on their side. Then we have some strategic mistakes as well. कहाँ गए Yes, it was a strategic mistake to recall Duplay after Second War. French reversals on ground began after his exit that we have seen. It was also a strategic mistake to ask Debussy to leave Hyderabad in the Third War. So the strategic errors that were committed by French also led to huge cost to be paid by them. ये हो गया ऑन द ग्राउंड. तो यहाँ पे हम जो रिजल्ट देख रहे हैं ना, दिस इज अबाउट, यहाँ से ऊपर का जो है वो है ओके रिसोर्सेस. यहाँ से बाद में जो है ये ऑल्सो आपके रिसोर्सेस प्लस अदर थिंग्स सब्सटेंशियल थिंग, बट दीज थिंग्स आर अबाउट इंडिविजुअल्स एंड देयर पॉलिसीज. बट एनीवे यू डोंट नीड टू नो दिस थिंग्स. बात ये है, आई विल टेल यू व्हाई आई एम टेलिंग दिस. लेट मी फिनिश द पॉइंट्स फर्स्ट. अच्छा, खत्म हो गया डॉक्यूमेंट. हाँ. British company was autonomous in taking decision as it was a joint stock company, but the French company had to function under the strict control of the French government. And therefore, in every peace treaty, every decision making, the French global political interest that mattered more than French local strategic economic interest. In the case of British, it was not so. Not only that, British, because it was being a private company, it could decide on its own. But French company could not decide on its own. वहाँ पे फ्रेंच लोकल डुप्ले वुड हैव टू राइट अ लेटर टू पेरिस. पेरिस में कंपनी हेडक्वार्टर विल हैव टू राइट अ लेटर टू फ्रेंच किंग. तो फिर वहाँ से खबर आएगी, परमिशन आएगी, दिन आगे. तो सिंपल प्राइवेट वर्सेस पीएसयू, सिंपल बात है. And resources of Bengal had fell into the hands of British after the Battle of Plassey. Ultimately, it was the battle of resources. Because in third battle also, Dil Ali was able to get at many small instances some advantage. Ultimately, he did not have money. He got exhausted. He had to divert his attention to fight Tanjore. कि 70 लाख रुपए मुझे दे दो. And meanwhile, British are pouring money after money. So it became the battle of resources. So this is the basic story. Now let me give you a couple of questions to write. Question 1. Neither Alexander the Great neither Alexander the Great nor Napoleon could have won the empire of India, would have won the empire of India by starting from Pondicherry as a base. From Pondicherry as a base and contending with a power which held Bengal and command at the sea. Command at sea. The directive word is comment. It was an old question of 2006 20 marker. And let me give you one more question before we discuss this. That question would be, Duplay made a cardinal error, a blunder in looking for the key of India in Madras. In Madras, Clive sought and found it in Bengal. Clive sought and found it in Bengal. Critically analyze. This is a 10 marker. 2013. Now tell me, how would you approach these questions? बताइए कैसे लिखें? अप्रोच क्या होगा? लिखना तो ठीक है, हम लिखेंगे धीरे धीरे. व्हाट इज द अप्रोच? द थीसिस स्टेटमेंट, द आर्ग्यूमेंट, सेंट्रल लाइन ऑफ रीजनिंग आपकी क्या रहेगी? पहले स्टेटमेंट, पहले सेंटेंस में, rather Alexander the Great nor Napoleon could have won the empire of India by starting from Pondicherry as a base and contending with a power which held Bengal and command at sea. Comment. Do you agree with or don't agree with it? अच्छा, if you agree, why do you agree? देखो, सिंपल बात यह है, ऑथर ऑफ द कोट, जिसकी कोट है, वो कहना ये चाहता है कि व्हाट इज दैट फैक्टर that decides the outcome of the war. For winning the war, there could be many reasons. Reason 1, reason 2, reason 3. आपकी नेवी कहाँ पे है, आपकी कंपनी का स्ट्रक्चर क्या है, होम प्रायोरिटीज क्या है, व्हाट इज द काइंड ऑफ लीडरशिप, व्हाट इज द डिस्कॉर्ड, यूनिटी ऑफ कमांड है कि नहीं है, टाइमलीनेस ऑफ डिसीजन मेकिंग, ब्रेवरी, जो कुछ है. 1000 फैक्टर आते हैं युद्ध जीतने के लिए, ये तो सही बात है, हमेशा होता है. देयर इज नो सिंगल वन फैक्टर, बट the primary factor that this question is creating is a binary between two. One is having a great generalship, leadership, statesmanship. हो सकता है अलेक्जेंडर और नेपोलियन, ये कौन? दे आर जस्ट इट इज नॉट अबाउट अलेक्जेंडर एट ऑल. इट इज ऑल्सो नॉट अबाउट नेपोलियन. आपके आंसर में उसकी कहानी मत लिखो अलेक्जेंडर की, नेपोलियन की, बिल्कुल नहीं चाहिए. दे आर जस्ट अ मेटाफर being used to talk about great generalship, a great skill. But even the great generalship cannot solve the fundamental problem of lack of resources. That is the basic aspect. आपको उसको लेके चलना है. शुरुआत में आप लिखो, दुनिया में हजारों वॉर ऐसे हो गए होंगे जिसमें जनरल इज एट द ऑड्स. तो हो सकता है कि आप एक बैटल जीत भी लो. अलेक्जेंडर आए, एक बैटल जीत ले, फिर दोबारा बैटल होगा, फिर दोबारा होगा, फिर दोबारा होगा. अंत में, because British have command over huge resources now, even if they get defeated in one battle on Coromandel Coast in the third war, they will create new army, again new battle, because they have money. So resources determines the outcome in this case as per the author. And secondly, navy, because you have to have supply chains and you have to have control ports and trade everything. So दोनों चीजें आएंगी. तो बेसिक आइडिया यही है. You have to kind of agree with it, but when you agree, don't just write कि first war में British were defeated because of French naval upper hand, but French navy could then come back in second battle. तो ऐसे मत लिखो. अब एक chronological नहीं लिखना है. Answer should have two parts. One is about resource for generalship, second is role of navy. And then your answer में आपके arguments को justify करने के लिए will take instances of first or second or third battle. War. ठीक है. तो history of war is your example. Facts are example. Facts are not the argument. The answer is structured based on argument. And to justify the argument, you need substantiation. That is your historical facts. फैक्ट्स को आप कभी भी आर्गुमेंट नहीं बनाओगे, ठीक है, एंड इट इज वेरी इजी, आर्गुमेंट्स आर वेरी क्लियर हियर. If you go to second question, Duplay made a cardinal blunder in looking for the key of India in Madras. Clive sought and found it in Bengal. This question is not only about resources. What is the greatness of Bengal versus Carnatic? If I compare this, obviously the fundamental point is money. पौंडीचेरी का hinterland इतना rich है नहीं. They don't have enough agriculture. They don't have tax revenue of that quality which can compete with Bengal. So by being even monopolizer in Karnataka can't have enough resources to fight with Bengal. You to doubt Bengal was a great province, 40% of India's GDP and all those things. Mention those facts here. So when you compare these two, we know French companies always having scarcity of money. It can't even pay its soldiers. On the other hand, British are able to throw money after money and man after man. And even when they're defeated, they can go for new war. So resources का battle तो हो जाता है. Carnatic versus Bengal is battle of resources. That is one aspect. There is other aspect also. Apart from resources, this question is clearly saying about power which held Bengal. मतलब यहाँ पैसे की बात हो रही है. But in this question, when you talk of Bengal, you don't talk only of paisa or resources. You talk something else also. Something else is a political map. In Bengal, you have only one power, the Bengal ka Nawab. And once he is defeated, once he is in your pocket, the picture is over. You control entire Bengal, like what happened after Plassey. But in case of Carnatic, it's a small area, less resources, and many contending powers. You have Carnatic, you have Hyderabad, we have rising Mysore, we have many local polygars, we have invading Marathas. We have 5 major power bases who are competing to get power, and in that you add French and British also. Look at the complications. एक को हरा के French could not benefit by putting Hyderabad in the pocket. Even after putting Hyderabad in the pocket, French had to struggle and then lose out. But that did not happen in Bengal. Bengal mein political map was very simple. One thing, finish it off, story over. The complication of politics in Carnatic also was the reason. तो इस आंसर में आपको वो भी लिखना है, ठीक है. But then you talk of resources, you talk of political landscape also. Even then the question is not done. Critically analyze. We have to go beyond that and talk about कि हो सकता है डुप्ले ने कार्डिनल एरर किया हो. But did Clive really sought it and found it in Bengal? Or it was just a fortuitous outcome for him? It was accident. It was initiative. It was not a great plan. It was just his initiative and then very accidental outcome for him. ठीक है, तो ये बात है. हो सकता था कि बंगाल ना मिले उसे, तो क्या होता? हो सकता है देयर कुड हैव बीन द 4th कर्नाटिक वॉर, 5th कर्नाटिक वॉर चलता रहता. At the global scale, British clearly had upper hand. ठीक है, so we will talk about that also. We don't have to go explicitly too much into alternative history, but you have to refer to those possibilities while you move along. That is how we argue. ठीक है. Now a couple of more questions. तो इसमें जो questions आते हैं, either the questions are of the reasons of the defeat of French. In that you have the duplex policy, that is one component, or overall reasons. And in overall, the focus is on resources of Bengal. And when you say critically, I know you will say, ठीक है भाई, this was one of the reasons, but there were other reasons also. We have the entire list. So was it the only reason? No, we have other reasons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. हमने पूरी list देखी. So whenever you have such kind of question, in the first half you elaborate why this reason is important, and in second half you give other reasons also. That is also good structure of the answer. ठीक है, पक्का? नहीं समझ में आया? तो लिखो. So let us take this opportunity. कल लिख के और next time you write both these answers, show it to me. Online people submit on the group. ठीक है, अभिराम, वैष्णवी, सुदीप, प्रतीक लिखो, submit in the group. ठीक है. Now there is one question that was asked this year in 2023. I will just read it out for you, लेकिन हम उसको अभी देख नहीं पाएंगे because we have not covered everything. The question reads like this: the Carnatic Wars, the Anglo-Mysore Wars, and the Anglo-Maratha Wars. Carnatic, Anglo-Mysore, and Anglo-Maratha Wars had virtually eliminated the French from the contest of supremacy in South India. Discuss. The question is now going beyond Carnatic and talking about Anglo-Mysore and Anglo-Maratha as well. It is where those points that I discussed came. What happened of French presence in India after the Battle of Mondiwash, after third war of Carnatic. तो वो कॉन्टेस्ट अब इनके एक्सपेक्टेड है, पहली बार सवाल पूछा है। तो हम इसको बाद में जब हम खत्म करेंगे सारा तब देखेंगे उसको। वी विल डिस्कस इट व्हेन वी डिस्कस एंड फिनिश सब्सिडियरी अलायंस, उसके बारे में आपको देख नहीं पाएंगे। ठीक है, सो दीज आर द मेन टाइप्स ऑफ क्वेश्चन दैट आर आस्क्ड। ओके, तो आज का लेक्चर छोटा ही हो गया, फिर हमें रुकना पड़ेगा हमें। एनी डाउट? वी राइट दिस 2 क्वेश्चंस, शो इट टू मी, वी विल रिज्यूम व्हेनेवर वी हैव नेक्स्ट लेक्चर। ठीक है, this topic is, देखो, I'll give you a roadmap of what we want to do. Firstly, we have finished Carnatic. Next lecture we'll finish Bengal. उसके बाद Mysore, and then Marathas. One lecture each for all of them. Once that is done, we'll go to the mercantilist phase. We'll discuss the admin and laws. We'll discuss the economic reforms and socio-cultural policies. And then we also have discussed this 4th thing, that is historiographical debates about the second half of 18th century. तो सब खत्म कर रहे हैं, लेकिन लगभग 4 और 2 6 lectures लेंगे. We will take 6 lectures to finish all of these things. I will discuss many question answers also as we move along. ठीक है, by the end of it we will reach 1818. Where do I submit my answers? Could you please repeat? Abhiram, okay, we have a Telegram channel. Will you write and submit the answers? If you talk to the front desk, they will get you added to the channel. ठीक है, इन मीनवाइल अगर आपको पहले लिखना है, मुझे पर्सनली भेज दो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं। टेलीग्राम पे मेरा नंबर तो होगा ही आपके पास। ठीक है, ओके, चलो देन, शॉर्ट लेक्चर, थैंक यू।